If there was ever an issue that took you back in time, this is the one. Welcome to Star Joes. I'm your host Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about Transformers 84 number 1. Now, this is an issue that came out as a result of an issue that came out in 2019, which was Transformers 84 number 0. That was an extremely well done issue. It took place before the Marvel series run, and it put an interesting twist on the story that we know. It actually highlights Optimus Prime in not the most positive way. It actually shows him as not being forthcoming to his fellow Autobots. He sends them on this mission knowing that they're not going to come back, but he never lets them know this. So it was an interesting one-shot. It left it open for the rest of the Marvel series, and I honestly didn't think that we were going to get another issue that took place during this time period, but here we are. We actually have a mini-series. It's called Transformers 84 Secrets and Lies. And this is written by Simon Furman, the legendary Transformers writer Simon Furman, and the art's by Guido Guidi, who is a longtime Transformers artist, and he has a perfect style for that old classic Marvel Transformers artwork. I mean, this looks like a comic that came out of that era. And not only Guido Guidi's art, but the colorist John Paul Rove. This is a time when, I mean, colorists are always important when it comes to comics. You have to have someone that works really well for the type of title that you're working on, especially when you're dealing with titles like, you know, something like Green Lantern, where color plays a vital role. With this, you needed that vintage look. You needed this to look like something from the 80s, because yeah, they could have done a story with artwork that looked like something from now and just said it ties into that storyline. But to actually take the time to make it look like something that came from that era, that came from the 80s Marvel run, was absolutely a brilliant move. And I can't say enough good things about this issue. The story is extremely compelling. They put thought behind the story that they were telling in just the little details. You had the Dinobots making an appearance, except I know you might be thinking like, well, but wait a second, the Dinobots, they're on Cybertron at this point. Why would they be Dinobots? But they're Dinobots in the DYNO. I automatically think of Voltron with the Dinotherms are activated, Mega Thrusters are go.
Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlock. Dinotherms connected. Infracells up. Mega Thrusters are go. Go! Voltron!
Like, this is talking about the engineering and technical aspects of the word dino. Like I said, it's DYNO instead of DINO. So it's really cool how they play on that to make that transition later into these robotic creatures. They do transform in this issue, and they transform into these really cool robotic vehicles that have like tusks and everything coming off of them. So it makes sense for that transition later. You have Skyfire, who is still working with Starscream at this point, so he's still a Decepticon. You have Megatron planning things out. You have Shockwave, and you know what happens with Shockwave in the Marvel run. All of that scheming and everything else that's going on behind the scenes, that's shown here. And the whole story is being told overall by a Transformer we don't really see very often in any type of Transformer story, and that's Punch and Counterpunch. He's a double agent Transformer. He works for the Autobots as Punch, but then he infiltrates the Decepticons as Counterpunch, and he was really the focal point in that number 0 issue that I mentioned before. So to bring that character along and tell the story that's happening here was also a brilliant move on this part. So like I said, everything about this worked for me. I love that this is a mini-series. I hope it continues going on. I hope we get to visit this era again and again. I would love to see some more in-between issues. You know, if they wanted to revisit the 84 series of Transformers, if they wanted to kind of tell some of the side stories or behind the scenes stories that happen in between certain issues with like 0.5 issues or something like that, I'd be all for that. But right now I'm really enjoying Secrets and Lies, and very appropriately enough, I want to give this the Autobot Matrix of Leadership rating. with that, I wanted to update everyone here that Stealth Hammer has achieved its funding. I want to thank everyone who backed it, and it's not too late. Again, we're still in the last week of this comic, so you can check out the link down in the information below. Like I said, I think you'll find that the artwork and the story that we're trying to tell is worth checking out and worth supporting, but I'm excited to tell everyone that we have achieved funding. This comic is going to be made. So again, I can't thank everyone enough for that. I'm looking forward for everyone to see this awesome, very well told and very well drawn with art and with coloring and everything else. Like I was just talking with Transformers, the coloring plays a very important part in how this story is being told. So I can't thank my team enough. Joel Jackson, the artist, Alexander Scott, the artist that was helped me with the concept work, as well as original character sheets, as well as the backup story that you'll see in the issue. Ross Hughes, who did the coloring, Evan Evans, his daughter Lacey Hart, who also helped with some of the color assists, Dave Sharp, who is doing the lettering. We just have an amazing team. Also want to thank my wife, Jamie, who is the inspiration for the story, and she's also helping. She did the logo for it, she did the title screen for it. She's helping me with a lot of the ins and outs of the design work for what the actual issue will look like, with credit pages and backup art book and everything else that we're doing as some of the rewards. So like I said, we have some amazing rewards. It's not too late. Go check it out, back it. But yeah, this Transformers issue, man, I cannot wait till it's all over. And maybe once it has completed, I can take a look back and we can do a wrap up of the entire miniseries. So with that, we'll go ahead and close this episode by saying the Force will be with you, because knowing us is half the battle. Take care, everyone.